Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our weekly or bi-weekly Pace broadcast. Things are so hectic around here this time of year. We can only get together a couple of about every other week. So, Coach, I'm here with Coach Hughes. Coach, I think this is our third or fourth session. We're in week 7, 8 now of baseball, which is great to be in that spot because
we're still playing.
That's right, and we're district champs.
Yep.
Right? 2016 was the last year we had done that. Folks, I don't know if you can see the shirt or not. I'm sure we will have several for sale.
Yes, we will.
Has all the players' names, coaches. So, Coach, congratulations. 2016, that is a verified date. It was the last time we won districts. So, congratulations. So, here's what I want to ask you. Walk me through the emotions of that game.
Yeah, just the game itself was, every pitch was very intense. It started as soon as we showed up at the ballpark. Our guys were ready to go. It was kind of one of those things where we were supposed to play Friday. And with the weather coming in, we talked about it with their coaches after Wednesday night's games, and we're like, we either play tomorrow night or it could possibly be Monday.
Which is a great call because the monsoon Friday.
Yes, it did. And so could have gotten pushed back to Monday, and we were like, you know what? We're ready to go. We got the arms. We got the guys. We're feeling good. Let's roll with it again tomorrow. And showed up, and guys had good energy. Batting practice, everything, warm-ups are in and out was really good and had good energy, and then it started from the first pitch when we attacked right away and were able to get a couple runs early in the game. Their guys settled in on the mound, and but we kept grinding at bats, and he had a couple really long innings that helped us. Ended up getting to their bullpen late in the game, and then you get to the 7th and it's tied, and it's like, all right, well, it's just going to take one inning from somebody, or one hit or one walk, something, and we were able to make that play. And then the emotions after the game was a whole bunch of emotions. Relief, just because all the hard work that everybody's put in.
Absolutely.
Excitement, joy, watching our coaches and our players celebrate together and do it together as a group was awesome. And all of our fans, seeing all of our fans and their support, and just the joy in a lot of our parents, especially our senior parents. It was very emotional. It was awesome.
Well, you take that from the feeling that we had the year before when we lost to Kickapoo in a heartbreaker, and then just the solace of knowing that, I was talking to one of your players, and he said, it's to beat us, you got to be good. To beat us twice, you got to be really, really good. And Republic beats us earlier on in the year. And so that's another thing I want to ask you is when you look at the pitching staff that we have, we have some very talented. Actually, we're going to speak with Ethan Taylor, one of your starters here in just a little bit. But when you look at your staff, that was a great call because you're right. We had all of our pitchers going into that championship game, which you know as well as I do. Pitching is like chess. It's you got to put pieces here and put pieces there, and hopes, right? And if you look at the pitching that they had, I think he went close to 20 pitches that first inning, which I knew we were trying to get that. But he settled in. He did a great job. So my next question is, what did you tell your players? We knew that they were going to have to go to the reliever. He had 6 pitches left, right, to max out. So we really didn't feel that he was going to put him in. We didn't know from a spectator sport. But what did you tell your players? Did you guys talk about anything the top of that 7th, or did you just kind of not put any pressure on the guys and just let them go do what they do?
Yeah, we don't really do a whole lot of that kind of stuff during the game, as much as just like, hey, continue to learn from your at-bats, continue to fight in your at-bats and grind. We try to make every single, if we do make an out, we try to make it a hard out, make the pitcher have to work for it. And so that's kind of what we did going into the 7th. I mean, Wyatt leads off and gets 2 strikes on him, and then he battles a couple pitches, takes a couple close pitches, ends up drawing a walk. And I think when that happened, I think you could feel it in their dugout that it's about to happen.
Sure.
And then Rylan lays down a perfect bunt. And we got a whole bunch of pieces moving on defense, which is why you do that stuff. The third baseman and pitcher went to get the ball. Shortstop covered second, and nobody covered third. And Wyatt had his head up and ended up taking third. The shortstop ran from second with him, so now nobody's at second. So Rylan went to second. And then Cloud, had a good at-bat and drew a walk, loaded the bases for a 4-hole hitter. And I think everybody was feeling really good at that point. And then they had to bring the infield in to try to cut down the runner. And Jack had a good at-bat, saw a lot of pitches, got to 2 strikes, and didn't give in. Changed some things. where he was just, hey, I'm just going to put the ball in play and make something happen. I'm not going to strike out right here. Hit a high bouncer off the front of the lip there, and it bounced right over their shortstop's head because he was playing in. And then after that, everybody kind of takes a deep breath, and we're like, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
And we're able to get a couple more runs after that, and so yeah, it's just one of those things. You just keep fighting every pitch and every inning, and the way that our guys play and the speed that we have, just eventually it's going to break through.
Well, and it's so much fun to watch too,
Yeah.
right? And I know you guys take a lot of hacks as I'm pointing to the indoor. I know you guys take a lot of hacks and you see a lot of balls, but we have a lot of good two-strike hitters. We really do. You know, kids that really don't squeeze any harder. They kind of even maybe relax, maybe choke up a little bit with 2 strikes or at a full count, and they feel good in that spot. And that's kudos to you guys. And even the base running pieces, that was a coaching moment. I mean, you could tell that our kids were prepared for a moment like that and just keeping their heads up. So, you know, kudos to you and your staff, and Coach Nimmo and all you guys for doing that. So what did you guys talk about? After the game, we all get to take a deep breath. You know, we get to keep playing, which is what we want to do. What did you guys talk about after the game in your huddle out on first?
Yeah, we just told them that, you know, we're so thankful for them and you know how much we care about them, and that we're really, really proud of them and all the hard work that they've put in since the first day after last season's game, all the way up until this point. Everything that they've done, everything that we've done was for that moment, and to continue this thing as long as we can. And it hasn't been easy. I mean, we've lifted at least twice a week, every single week since the fall, and sometimes it's tiring. You know, getting up at 5 a.m. and lifting a couple times a week and having school and then practice and playing 36 games during the regular season, and it's not easy. And but winning's not easy either, and especially winning a district title and hopefully continuing to keep this thing moving forward is not easy. And so we know that it's taken a lot of their time and a commitment from them. You know, you want to do something you've never done before, then you better work and do things that you've never done.
No, absolutely right. Absolutely right. And that's something that I noticed, and that we always noticed, that we knew things were going to happen because we were putting the ball in play. We were just hitting it right at them, or we just weren't getting the breaks that we needed. And that goes all the way back to the lifting that, you know, we start as soon as the season's over. You know, as soon as they come back, you know, those who are uninvolved in another sport, they're lifting and they're getting ready for the next, you know, and you guys are out and you're taking grounders. So it's a year-round thing anymore.
Absolutely.
To be as good. So I want to talk about that. You know, 30-plus wins 2 years in a row. Okay, it's your second year here. We're 31. What are we now? 31-6 on the season so far. 2 years of 30-plus wins. What does that mean? First to you, and then what does that mean to our organization?
It means we have an incredible coaching staff. I hired the right guys, obviously, to work with our guys, and they put in a lot of time with our guys and a lot of extra time. You know, their own time, continuing to develop, and you know, we're continuing to upgrade our facilities and our off-season programs, and getting the weighted balls to build arm strength
and the youth programs
and our youth programs. And so I think all of that goes hand in hand. It also means that we have a lot of talent here. That's what it means, is we got a lot of really good baseball players. And, you know, as everybody continues to get better, the guys who have been playing and starting have to also continue to get better. And so just the level of everybody's play has to keep getting higher. Or some of those guys, maybe who are the second teamers right now, are going to pass them. And they know that. Because everybody in our program is a good baseball player, and so we're just continuing to raise the level of each guy, I think, and that's why we're continuing to put a product out on the field that can win.
So let's talk about that. I'm going to give you a little chance to do a commercial here. So if you've got someone out there that's watching, and maybe it's a kid that's junior high or a little younger, what can they do? Because when they come to the games and they see the notoriety, and we're in the paper, you're getting interviews, a lot of our players are getting interviews, our facilities are getting nicer, we know they're going to keep expanding and getting nicer. What would you tell a kid that's, you know, on the fence about, you know, what to do in the summertime? What can I do to get better? How do I get stronger? What do you tell a kid like that?
Yeah, number one, if you come out to watch us, I'd just say watch the guys, watch their attitudes, watch how much fun they're having. And enjoying not even just the guys who are playing or hitting or pitching, but the guys in the dugout and how they pick each other up and how they cheer for each other. And ultimately, that's what it's all about. Is number one, being a good person, being a good teammate. I think the game will reward you for that. And the second thing is just continue to work. Like, get in the cages and hit. Don't always put so much pressure on. Oh, I have to get better. I have to do this. Like, make sure you enjoy the process of getting better, because otherwise you're going to get tired of it, and then you're going to want to take days off, or you're going to want to stop playing, or those kind of things. And so ultimately, it's a matter of making sure you enjoy it. So finding ways to make the weight room fun and have some competitions in there, or find a way to make practice fun when you don't have a game for 5 days. You got to continue to make it fun and make guys want to show up and enjoy being there, and then you'll continue to work.
No, that's good. That's good. So you heard that, kids, boys. Stay in the cages, get stronger,
Yeah.
And have fun.
Have fun.
You know, don't take the fun aspect out of it. Otherwise, it'll become work, and you will not get better.
Yeah.
Right. So the next thing I want to talk about is we see you on the field, we see you here on our broadcast, we see you in the schools. What we don't see is if someone comes up to you, and we're always curious about this, and someone comes up and says, "Hey, coach, tough game tonight." How do you respond to that as a coach, a winning coach? How do you respond to that when someone says to you, "Hey, coach, you got a tough game tonight"?
Yeah. Well, two aspects from the perspective of, hey, like, you got a tough game coming up tonight. Yeah, they're all tough around here and at 6A. No matter who we play in the area or when we travel, they're all tough. We try to approach things from a vantage point of, like, we need to focus on us. We need to focus on what we do well, how we're going to win. And ultimately, no matter who you play or what level of baseball you get to, it's a game against the baseball. Because they're going to have a guy who pitches. We're going to have to try to get guys out. And so it's ultimately a game against the baseball, and we have to figure out how to beat the baseball. And so, you know, I just kind of say, yeah, it is going to be a tough game, and we're going to have to play solid, and we're going to have to play well. Now, the other side of it is after a game sometimes, you're like, hey, tough ball game, coach. I kind of say the same thing. Yeah, it was. Like, they're a really good team, and they made more plays than we did, or, you know, it was just kind of tough the way the ball bounced tonight. But we got to learn from those things and get back to work the next day.
No, that makes a lot of sense, and it's always fascinating to hear from a coach's perspective, because I know that, and it's like this with any sport. During baseball season, you probably sleep less. You probably think, you know, and I think you're kind of a guy that doesn't overthink it, but I know your mind is always reeling about what to do and things of that nature. So I know, so when someone comes up to you and kind of throws you that curveball, you know, how do you respond?
Yeah.
That's very interesting. The way you say that. So the next thing I want to talk about is you always talk about we play one game at a time, because we've asked you in advance, coach, you know about anything, you know, do you know anything about the team that we're going to play? And you always say, you know what, we're focusing on tonight's game. We'll get ready for that team, you know, after we face the team tonight. But one of the things that I want to know is with our pitching rotation, right? And we got some very talented kids. Do you massage the pitching rotation based on who we're going to face, based on their tendencies, based on their top 4, their top 5, or their 9 hitters?
I don't think we've really done that too much this year, as opposed to, like, the way our schedule sets up when we get into conference. We kind of had a Tuesday guy, a Thursday guy, a number 3 who threw our next game during the week. We really didn't plan too much around who we were playing or what type of pitching matchups we had on the mound. Again, it's one of those things where we have a lot of good pitchers, and you could see the depth in that when we get to some of these 5-game weeks. And Gavin Kranz and Ryan Buckner and some of these guys are starting who haven't pitched a whole lot, come in and do really well and have success. And so I don't think it's so much about us planning our pitching around who we're facing. It's more so like understanding, okay, this is who's going because it's their turn in the rotation. This is who you're going to face. This is how you're going to attack them. But you need to focus on what you do best, and try to get them to figure out how to attack you. And we want to always be in control of that on the mound, and not. We want to focus. Like, if I'm a guy on the mound who doesn't pitch inside very well to right-hand hitters, but they don't hit the ball very well inside. Well, I'm kind of banging my head against the wall if I'm trying to keep going inside, and I can't because I'm not good at that. And now all of a sudden I'm falling behind every hitter all day, and I got to lay stuff out over the plate for them to hit. So ultimately, we have to continue to do what we do well, and then make kind of small adjustments based off of how they're reacting to that in the game.
Well, one thing we do well is I don't know what our percentage of first pitch strikes are, but here as of late, probably the last week and a half, it's got to be very, very high.
Yeah,
and that's a
is.
big thing. And you know that as well as I do, that first pitch strikes are big. Anything you tell your pitchers day of, I know they're always kind of on their own. They're in the bullpen, and I know you get your staff there,
Yeah.
helping them as well. But anything, do you tell your pitchers anything day of? I mean, they obviously they know the day before if they're going to throw, if they're going to start, or whatever. And we've talked about that with some of the pitchers. It's a different mentality, starting, relieving, and then closing.
Sure.
Do you tell your pitchers, or do you coach them through pregame or anything like that?
I think it's more so them working with Jack Edwards and Gehrig on, hey, this guy's swings a lot. He likes to be aggressive. Make sure you can still throw fastballs in fastball counts. You just got to locate them well. And so we try to tell hey, this guy's really aggressive first pitch. Maybe we need to execute an off-speed pitch earlier and try to get a weak out. Or maybe he'll swing and miss, or maybe he'll take it because he's sitting on a fastball first pitch. So we try to practice those things a lot in the indoor, and that's pitching backwards just in case we ever have to do that.
Sure.
And throw off speed and fastball counts, and we practice that all the time so that they're comfortable doing that. In case they do face guys who are really, really aggressive, we try to use that aggressiveness against them.
Sure.
And try to get early weak outs, weak contact, that kind of stuff. Get ahead in the count because it makes it so much easier on a pitcher.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. And because you can tell our kids are confident, and even if they get behind in the count, they're still confident.
Yeah.
And you can see that on the mound. So, last question we talk about before we talk about quarterfinals is we have so many talented players as far as in our defense, right? We've talked about our pitchers. We know we have talented catchers, but we also have kids in the field, players that play behind our pitchers. So how do you determine the lineup on a daily basis as of, okay, I'm going to play this 9, or I'm going to hit this 9 today, tomorrow, the next day? How do you determine when you've got at least 14 guys that can step on the field at any given point? How do you determine your lineup? How do you determine who's going to be in that 5, 6, 7 spot, or that 4, 5, 6, 7 spot with your lineup?
Yeah, that's honestly been the hardest part of this job. Is we have a lot of really good baseball players and a lot of talented kids, and it's difficult because I want everybody to play.
Sure.
I want them all to get out there and have opportunities. And as a former hitter, I know that hitting and becoming a good hitter is about consistency and continuing to play on a daily basis and see live pitching and get live at bats. And when you get that every 4th game, it's hard. And it's hard to from a mentality standpoint. It's like every time you get in there, you're like, oh, I gotta have a good at bat. I gotta get a hit, or I'm not gonna play tomorrow. And I understand that as a hitter, and so it's very difficult. Just kind of one of those things where when we get opportunities throughout games, or there's an opportunity to pinch hit a guy, certain times and situations, and we try to do that to keep them fresh. And ultimately, sometimes as a coach, you go with the guy who's got the hot hand, or who's been putting together the best swings.
Sure.
And sometimes not even the best swings, but some of our guys are hitting lower, maybe averages, but they're getting on base 50% of the time.
Sure.
And ultimately, at the bottom of the lineup, that's what you want those guys to do, is just be a hard out and get on base and turn the lineup over. And so a lot of those guys have done that. It's hard. It's really hard. And I feel bad for our 5 or 6 guys who are kind of playing every other game or every 3rd game, because they should be playing every day.
Sure.
That's just the tough side of it when you have so many good hitters. I'm also not complaining, because I'd rather be on this side of it than try to figure out who we should play, because we don't have any good players.
Absolutely.
And so it's tough. It's one of those decisions that makes that's honestly what I lose sleep over more is, who do we DH today? Who do we play in this position? Who do we do that? Because he deserves it, and he deserves it, and he works his tail off, and they all deserve it, but we only got one spot in the lineup. And it's tough because we care about these kids so much. We want them all to play. That's just the nature of it as a coach.
Well, from a dugout perspective, when we see kids come in And we've seen kids come in, a kid will be in on deck circle, and hey, I'm gonna pinch hit this guy because I think maybe he has a better shot, or
Yeah.
we've got some things that we're trying to do. I never see the kids frustrated when they get a chance. They play like they played the entire game.
Yeah.
And that all goes back to the buy-in. That all goes back
Yes,
to
absolutely.
the program and what we're trying to do, and that everybody contributes, no matter if you're on the field 7 innings or playing every other
Yeah.
game, every third inning, like you said.
Absolutely.
So that is all buy-in, and I think that's congruent here within Nixa High School.
Yeah.
Because it's like that with every sport.
Absolutely.
Because everybody's an important part. So let's talk about it. Quarterfinal game
Yeah.
this Saturday, 1 p.m. in Blue Springs. We're the home team.
We are.
That is exciting.
Coin toss,
One
yeah.
coin toss. So thanks to the magic hands of Brandon Clark.
Yep.
We face the Wildcats from Blue Springs, kind of an upset up there as far as their rankings and all of that goes. 24-14 on the year. I looked at their schedule. They've won some big games.
Mm-hmm.
They've played some really good teams.
Yep.
Games have been close. They've won some big games. They've lost a couple of games, but they don't see the competition that we see, and we don't see a lot unless we go up there.
Yep.
Do you know anything about who they're going to offer, who they're going to throw, what they're?
Yeah, they're really good. They beat the #1 team in the state to win the district championship, Blue Springs South. They beat another top 5 team in Columbia Rockbridge in the semifinal. They're really, really good. They're really good on the mound. They got a lot of depth. I think most likely we'll see a left-hander who's really good. He's going to be mid-upper 80s.
Which is
and
good
has
coming
good
from
stuff.
that left side.
Yeah, no doubt. It's very good. He knows how to pitch.
Yeah.
He's committed to Arkansas, I think, and has pitched in all their big games. Has good stuff. Controls the mound very well. Again, we got to do what we do, and that's attack him. And that's how we've been. That's how we got to this point. And that's our best chance of moving forward, is continuing to focus on us and use our speed and get to the middle of the lineup and take our hacks and kind of live with the result after that. So I think offensively they've got some guys who are feeling good about themselves. The middle of their lineup can really hit. And again, the same thing with the bottom of their lineup. They're just guys that are tough outs, and they try to see as many pitches as they can and get on base. And so we're going to have to throw strikes. We're going to have to attack them at the strike zone, make them earn it, and do what we've been doing the last week or so, and that's play really, really good defense.
Can you share with us who's going to be on the mound for us?
It'll either be Ethan
Mm-hmm.
or Jackson Gamble or Colin Kelly.
That narrows it down.
I honestly don't know yet.
Okay.
It'll be one of those 3, and there's a good chance all 3 of them pitch at some point.
Yeah,
in that
sure.
game.
Well, and that's luxury, Sue. We've had 5 days off. We win this game. We play June 2nd, which is next Friday. And then you don't have much rest. Then you play championship on Saturday here in Ozark.
Yeah.
So we're sending the boys away 9:15 tomorrow morning.
Yes.
Where are we going to meet? We're going to meet at the high school. We're going to meet over
We're
here.
going to meet here at the baseball field.
Okay.
We're going to have all our stuff ready to go at the indoor facility. Taking a charter bus up there tomorrow, and
Good.
going to take the boys to the Royals game. That'll be fun. Just kind of enjoy this experience.
Sure. They deserve it.
They do deserve it.
They
do deserve it, and we're going to have a good time as a team. Some more team building stuff, because this is the type of stuff that we're going to remember forever.
Absolutely.
And so we want them to experience that type of stuff. And there might be some guys on the team that have never been to a major league game.
True.
And so that's going to be pretty exciting. And so we'll do that tomorrow here. Come out, support us, send us off. I think we're getting a police escort, which is going to be pretty fun, kind of cool, from our local guys here that support us. And so it'll be a good time.
Good. Well, congratulations again.
Thank you.
District champs.
Yep.
It was a 7-year drought, and you
We're not
pulled
done
us
yet.
out. And no, we're not done.
We're not
We
done
got
yet.
3 big games left, and we're going to play. Like you always say, we're going to do 1 game at a time. We're going to
Yep.
play the baseball
Yep.
and go win. So, thanks again. Hey, folks, we're going to take a quick break. I'm so excited. We got Ethan Taylor, one of our senior starters. I'm getting to know him a little bit better. He's not from this area, so we want to find out what it's like being here compared to being where he's from. Talk about Eagle baseball, but that's coming up. But we want to thank some of our great sponsors. They've done such a great job, just helping us. We got Turn 2 Apparel. We got Getting Basted is another great sponsor of ours. Christian Brothers Automotive. I could just keep going on and on, but we're going to hear from our sponsors real quick. We'll be right back with Ethan Taylor, one of our starting pitchers. Hey, we're back. Thank you again to some of our great sponsors. I can't list all of them. They do such a great job, and there's so many people that help us out to make Nixa and Eagle Baseball and Eagle Nation what it is. And for these guys, food before games, food after games, just all of the funds that it takes to get them, the hats, the uniforms. I think we got about 14 different uniforms, maybe. That's exaggerating. But all of that stuff costs, and our sponsors make it happen. And so we cannot thank you enough. And if you'd like to sponsor, contact the school. Ms. Chrisman can do that for you, and she'll be happy to get you set up, and we'll say your name. So if you're interested in that, and we have a lot of people at our games. Some of our crowds were sold out this year, so we have a lot of people standing out on the fences, and so there's a lot of people here. So thank you again to our sponsors. But hey, Ethan Taylor, welcome to the Pace Broadcast. I've been looking forward to this all day, picking your brain. Pitchers sometimes can be different. I've known a lot of pitchers throughout, and sometimes you guys think differently, and you have to, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm looking forward to picking your brain, learning some of the things that you do, and then sharing those. Because what we don't see, and the reason we do this, Ethan, is we want to know what it's like to be a high school player in today's, in such a great program, 31 wins this year. What is it like when you step out onto the mound? Because we play some really, really good teams. And, the pressure that you guys go under, the fun that you guys have when we're not around, and those things are interesting to us. So the first thing, this is your first year in Eagle. Tell us about that experience as being here at Eagle Nation, being in Eagle, under Coach Hughes and the coaching staff in this organization. What has that been like?
It's definitely been a change. I've had a lot of great experience with the coach and the coaches, especially Hughes and all the other pitching coaches. They've helped me develop my talents a lot, and it's just been really fun here, and wouldn't ask for another team.
Good. Well, we're super happy to have you. So tell us about where you came from. I believe you came from Idaho. Is that right?
Yes, sir. I came from.
So tell us about kind of your experience there. What did you do there that may have been different about what you did here, or some of the requirements that are here, here in Southwest Missouri?
It's definitely different. I played for a 5A. 6A is definitely bigger. Some of the competition down there is a little easier than up here, I'd say. The coaching staff is different. We definitely don't have college coaching staff coming down there to help us.
Sure.
And then the experiences that the coaches have is just way different.
Yeah, well, and you're talking about Coach Hagler as one of their assistant coaches. Tell us how that experience was. A guy with a breath full of knowledge,
exactly.
Right?
He's helped me a lot, especially developing my changeup. He's been really good to have, and I appreciate him a lot.
Yeah, and then Coach York. Coach York, I know he was a thrower in college.
Yep.
We've had him on the show. What's he taught you? What's something that Coach York has taught you, whether mentally, physically?
Mentally, he just said stay calm. Don't look too much into it. Don't get too nervous. He's helped me develop my two-seam and helped me stay back with my windup and my stretch. Helped me to stay back and taught me a lot of drills. Same with Hags too.
Good. Well, we're super happy that you moved here from Coeur d'Alene, which is a beautiful part of the world, to join us here. So you have a very good defense behind you, and Coach Hughes and I were talking about that earlier. We've got about 14 guys that can play. Tell us how refreshing, or tell us what that's like. Because we don't know what you had in Idaho, but knowing that you've got the players behind you that you have, what is that like being a starting pitcher? How does that maybe free up some of your tendencies or free up some of your pitches? Tell us about that.
It's definitely super, super nice to have a defense behind you, especially a catcher, because having a good catcher helps a lot, especially since 0-2 count, you want to throw something in the dirt. If you have a good catcher, it's going to get blocked and not get behind them. So you have faith in the catcher and defense behind you. You can if you mess up, leave one down the middle and they hit it, that.
Yeah, and I know Coach Hags even tells that, and he talks about that. Hey, it's okay. You got guys behind you. Mm-hmm. If you do throw a strike, and he does, he'll probably hit it straight up.
Yeah.
And your guys will catch it. So and we've already talked about too, is good catchers make better pitchers, right?
Exactly.
So, Gary Goff and Jack and even some of our younger, kids coming up. Cale Harris is coming up, and all of those guys that are good catchers, which make better pitchers, right?
Yeah.
So that's good to know as well. So tell me this, how do you prepare for games? So you're going to start, and you're a starter, which is different from a middle reliever to a closer. How do you mentally prepare the day you're going to be on the bump?
The morning of, I usually get a long, nice 15, 20-minute stretch in, either at the weight room or in my house. And then I usually just don't think about it too much, hype myself up too much, just go out there, throw strikes, and play to the best of my ability.
We've seen good hitters this year. What do you do to prepare for the hitters that you're going to face that day? Whether a guy that really likes to take a lot of swings or a guy that really likes to wait for his pitch because he's confident and knowing that, how do you prepare for those hitters?
Well, before the game, I don't do much research on the team just because overstimulating or overhyping, But I have a good team that has played with them before or against them, so they know what they like and what they don't like and what they can't hit. And so I usually get that rundown from either Jack or Garrett or someone else on the team. And so the inning before, they'll tell me like, four-hole doesn't like curveballs. So I'll throw a first pitch curveball, first strike. So.
And we talked about that earlier. We don't know what the percentage of first strikes are, but you guys have been very successful. Keep that up. First pitch strikes are huge.
Yeah.
And when you can throw a curveball for a first pitch strike, that's something to say here at this level, at 6A level here in Missouri. So what are your plans? I know you'd have the opportunity to play baseball, but what are your plans after high school baseball?
My plan is to go on a 2-year mission for my church.
Okay.
I got called to serve in the San Bernardino, California mission.
Okay, cool.
So I'll be doing that for 2 years, and then after, I plan to play baseball.
Good for you. Good for you. Any schools that you would like to go to, or you would like to visit, or?
I want to visit BBC,
Okay.
Baptist Bible.
Yeah.
And then there's a
Great program this year. They won.
yeah.
I think they won the region and
Yeah,
made
they
the
did.
playoffs. And
Yep. And then I've been talking to a little bit at Coffeyville
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
And then I want to go visit some schools in Hawaii.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who wouldn't want to play baseball in Hawaii,
Right.
So last question, we always ask players this because you guys have some of the kookiest superstitions that you guys do. We shared some of those before we started this broadcast. Any superstitions you do day of your game? I mean, do you listen to love songs? What do you do day of that you don't normally do any other day?
The day of, I usually have an AirPod in the entire day, either listening to country music or rap or whatever it is that day that I'm feeling. And then before the game, I usually drink Dr. Pepper. And then during or right before the game, I have a gummy bear rain.
A gummy bear rain.
Yeah.
That's the first I've ever heard of that. Yeah. So, whatever you're doing, if you need, pack them or whatever, and you get the nod this Saturday, do that. Now we have every piece of trust in you guys that you guys are going to do well, that you're going to come out and you're going to play. And it's like Coach Hughes said, you're going to have fun. And that's what this sport was about. And have fun this weekend. So when you guys leave, so again, they leave at 9:15 from the baseball field, which is over by the junior high. They're leaving at 9:15. So make sure that, if you can, be here to send them off. We're getting a police escort. That's pretty cool.
That's really
I'm
cool.
going to take a charter bus. They're going to go do some things as a team. And like Coach Hughes said, they're going to do some things that they're going to remember and for the rest of your life. Wins and losses, they will come and go, but the memories that you make with your team, those memories will be there forever. So, well, Ethan, good luck. Thank you. And congratulations. Your first year, you won a district title for 6A, largest school district, that you can in Missouri. So congratulations for that. You are an integral part of that. We love watching you throw. We know you're not done throwing. So we're looking forward to that. So good luck Saturday against the Wildcats, and go Eagles, and go get us another win, and let's keep playing. Right? Let's play all the way through. Folks, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Anytime that you get to listen in, We will have one more broadcast. We'll do a postseason broadcast where we'll bring Coach Hughes in, maybe one of the other coaches, and talk about a year-end cap. So we'll have one more broadcast. But thank you. If you can, they will be broadcasting live the baseball game. So listen in and watch. Thank you so much. We appreciate you guys joining us. And go Eagles! Have a good day.